Episode OCHO of me answering any of your questions. So usually we put these big ass statues here and I tell you all about them. But today I tell you about anything you want to hear. And I'm sure you're wondering what the hell is up with that shirt, Mr. X. In fairness, I'm recording this on St. Patty's Day and it's the closest to green that I have. It's more of an Easter shirt. Did you know Easter is on 420? And I live in one of the highest places in the US, both figuratively and literally.
Don't give it to you. Wait for you to get it on your own.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. This is episode OCHO of Your Questions Answered. So if you go back to episode 7, anything you asked in the comments below, I'm going to answer today, raw and unscripted. I've seen a few of them, but some of them I'm going to have to come up with the answers right off the top of my head. As a reminder, the only thing that is off the table is where I work or what I do for a living, because I try and keep that persona, Bob Smith, different than Mr. X. And usually these episodes end up being really long, so let's dive right in. As I grab your questions, if you think of any that aren't on here, throw those down in the comments below for episode 9. All right, so I really appreciate all the questions. Looks like there are a large number of them today. So Denjin Alzim asked, do I have any life-size statues? Yes, I do. I have about 6 or 7, depending on what you consider life-size. Most prominent are these MCU Avenger statues, but I also have a Yoda, Han Solo, and Carbonate. As of filming this, that recent Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle diorama. Some could say the Balrog I have upstairs is life-size, and I have a few life-size busts that I've been selling off lately. Do I plan to get more? Depends what comes out, but very possibly. Zeke the Wise says, if you can redo in life, what changes would you make? And you can't say no changes. So I'm not going to go into detail about these, but obviously I've hurt people. I think most of us have. I would take back most of those. Most, not all. I would do the obvious, investing in stuff like Netflix or Tesla when it was really young. But I think the biggest thing is I have this quirky personality. And while I've always excelled in leadership professionally, this quirky personality has always been part of it. Although on the YouTube channel, it's 80% this and 20% business. Where in my professional setting, it's 80% business and 20% this quirky personality. I remember years ago when I was running 3 different offices, my boss told me you are never going to be an executive because of your immaturity. And it really hit me. And I was probably in my 30s, maybe even my 20s, I don't know. But maybe listening to him sooner, I would have even been farther professionally than I am now, although I'm pretty far. DXC Zook says, the feeling's mutual in a no homo way, but hey, it's Henry Cavill. Must have been something from the previous video. He has a lot of things in here. Did you catch the Prime 1 show? Yes. So I did catch the most recent Prime 1 show. I think it was episode 13. I was actually live on Constructive Outrageous channel. And I thought it was the coolest reveals, probably one of the top 3 shows in regards to reveals, but the most boring show. You don't need to spend 20 minutes on any statue, even the awesome ones. 3 to 5 minutes each, move on. I'm buying some from there. I'm only buying the Wolf Predator, maybe the Alien Romulus, and Mr. Freeze for sure. Triple G Comics, one of my favorite people. Peter, best meal you have ever had. Okay, that's good. Aliens, Terminator, or Predator 2 have to go. Which franchise are you keeping? Oh, that's mean. That is mean. I think I'd keep Aliens. I know I'd keep Aliens. By a hair. But yeah, to me, those are 3 iconic. And Peter and I, he has this fantastic channel, and I've been on his channel before. Him and I, very like-minded. We're very similar in age. We grew up at the same time. We had the same interests. So I know he knows how hard that question was. The best meal I've ever had. That is very, very difficult. Of course, I have my favorite restaurants, and I have like 20 of them all throughout the world. But some of my favorite meals are, I'd probably have to say, smoking a prime rib in my backyard. That's one of the things I'm best at on the smoker. That with jerk seasoned potatoes. I'm going to have to go with that. Although I am a big foodie, so I absolutely love so many different restaurants. Frank Leone, would you ever consider retiring early, or do you think you would work until you can't? I will definitely work until I can't. I might get out of the huge corporate world sooner than later. Probably like in my early, I don't want to tell you how old I am, but probably in a decent amount of time. Probably in the next 10 years. I think that's fair to say. Yeah, probably in about 10 years. But I will always be involved. Mrs. X and I have this game plan that eventually, when our children are all grown up and are married off or are at that age, that we're going to have a place in the Caribbean on the beach, and we'll come back to the States, 10 times a year, whatever that looks like. But I'll probably run some small company remotely. It could be a non-for-profit company. It could be a company that just nets us a few $100s a month to pay for my whiskey. I don't know. But yeah, I would get way too bored. I've never taken a staycation. I almost did this year, but we have some other grandiose plans, including Europe and Hawaii and shit like that. But Mrs. X is like, you'd be bored one day after staycation. Who are some of your favorite comic book artists? Oh, that's a good one. I'd have to walk through some of my slabs because the names I recognize often. There's a lot of Venom ones lately that are doing it. I wouldn't, Donny Cates is more of an author than an artist, but he's definitely my favorite right now. All right, I went and looked at some of my slabs. Kirkham and Dell'Otto, should have thought of those instantly. Back in the day, Bagley, of course. Famous El Guapo, if you could be any superhero or villain, which one would it be and why? If it's too hard to pick, then say your top three. I'd want to be, well, that's hard. Do I get their powers or am I actually them? Because I'd want Wolverine's powers, because that's just badass. The healing, the ultra senses, and of course the adamantium. But I wouldn't want to be Wolverine because he's too much of a prick. I would never want to be Professor X. I don't know why I'm just thinking X-Men. Superman, of course. I would want to be Superman. I think he has it all. Terry Hatcher, Superman. I wouldn't want to be that Superman, but I could have Terry Hatcher. Back in the day, I don't think I'd want to be a villain if I had to actually be the characteristics of the person, although I do partially agree with Thanos. John Arguelles, top 3 80s toy line. Okay, G.I. Joe, the 12-inch, or not 12-inch, the 6-inch G.I. Joes, or 4-inch, the articulated ones, those for sure. Battle Beasts, and tied between Masters of the Universe and Transformers. That's actually pretty easy. Some other people on here just made some great comments. Kind of skipping over those, although I do really appreciate them. All right, Daryl Metcalf, the comedian, he said they think he's a clown at work. I believe it. He makes awesome, funny comments. SF6FTW833. So if you're unfamiliar who that is, he's been here since the beginning, since I had like 100 subscribers. And he would comment on every video, and he's a very aggressive, funny guy. I think in real life, he's a very successful guy. I think he's a very funny guy. He comes across online. He used to attack anybody that didn't praise me, and that was definitely too much. He's let out the city he lives in, and it's a city I often go to, and I think he lives in the area I usually stay. I was just there a few weeks ago. I'm a little worried to meet him in person because I might die. But I think that's all persona. I think it's all facade. I think he's a fantastic guy. And one day him and I are hitting up Morton's Steakhouse. Cajun ribeye, my man. I don't know when. I need to get my will in line in case you kill me. Travis, Lethal Venom, who's his arch enemy, by the way. These two guys hate each other. And I love them both. From when you started the channel up until now, what do you think you've improved the most on regarding the video? Oh, that's good. And channel in general, on the other aspects, are you still trying to improve on? That's a great question. I think I've gotten better at the thumbnails, although I don't spend as much time anymore. I'm a little lazy on them. At least I know how to do them better. Recently, as of filming this, like very recently, my computer crashed. So I'm really trying to get straight to the content. I'm trying to deliver the same type of content, but deliver it in a different way that people will receive more. Like, for example, one small thing I heard the other day that blew my mind. It was actually on a business Instagram reel. He's like, don't start your Instagram reels, I'm Mr. X. People don't give a shit who you are. They just want to hear whatever the subject of the video is. So I'm trying to do that more and more. This segment was standing. This is more for the regular viewers. And what do I need to improve on? Definitely still the lighting and the editing. I do the editing really fast because I don't have a lot of time. I would love if I could be like, okay, I'm going to clear out an hour and a half, 2-hour block, uninterrupted, just to do editing. I think my editing would be superb. Not only from a clean standpoint, but also I could add in a lot of funny stuff. Zelos Metallium, understand about waiting to see a movie later. He's going to make some time to see Superman, though. I definitely will see Superman in the theater, too. What did I see? I saw Captain America in the theater. I put a blog on theextremechannel.com what I thought about that. Jonathan Pardo. All right, question. As a Brit, I am one of the few people who has been to a Super Bowl game. Okay. How many have you been to? Which was your favorite? And which halftime concert was the best? You saw the Colts versus Saints in Miami, and the Who played at halftime. So I've never been to a Super Bowl. If the Broncos make it, I'm definitely going to go. I've been to 2 AFC championships, so I was close. Actually, Tom Brady played Peyton Manning. It was the Patriots versus the Broncos, and the Broncos won both times. So that was close. My favorite halftime show was the one they did a few years ago with Snoop Dogg. That was amazing. It brought right back to my 90s roots. JMV 0112, any stock suggestions? The time I'm filming this, the stock market's in the freaking toilet. So you want to do 2 things with your portfolio. You want to do about 75% into things that have proven longevity. This could be anything from airlines to some other type of business. So travel is always a must for sure. But then you want to do something really risky with the other 20%, a company you think that'll hit it big. And if they don't, the losses from that can be overcame by the longevity. But right now, anything's good to put it in because it's all so low. Paul Walker, since you recorded this, the inauguration of the new president, if JND made a hyperreal Trump statue, would you buy it? Using his own Trump cards as a guide, as what character outfit would you like to see him in? All right, so first of all, people think I'm pro-Trump. I'm not pro-Trump. I think Trump's a narcissistic asshole. I did vote for Trump. I think that the state of the country at that time was bad for a lot of different reasons, and I don't think it's much better. I mean, as of recording this, it's St. Paddy's Day. He's been in office for 2 months. But I think some things are moving in the right direction. But I don't idolize the guy. I would not want a statue of him. But if I did have to get a statue of him, it'd be something with him, with the fight. That was pretty impressive. Raul asked who said my Spanish was fluent. If you don't use it, you lose it. I used to be fluent. Sorry. Shiny, always being serious. On dream statues, what's a nightmare statue that would keep you up at night by knowing it exists? Would you ever move a house just to get more room for the life-size Hulkbuster? If not, dig another level underground. Lots of questions there. I'd be scared to have a Exorcist statue. I think that's the scariest move of all time because I think that shit can really happen. I would never move to get the Hulkbuster statue. I'd love to own a gallery someday that I could put it in. I would never move to another home for more statue display space. Knowing how much room I have here, I think if someone is doing that and they only have a small amount of room and they want a lot, I think that's totally cool. But if you have as much as I do and you still want more, something's really wrong with you. Wendell Harrington says, do you think the NIL deals are ruining college? Do you want your kids to go to Nebraska? No, my kids can go anywhere they want. I'd love them to go to Colorado. I think Colorado's a great school. My oldest son, who's actually looking at colleges right now, may not want to go to college. Yes, I don't think they're ruining it, but I think they're hurting college for sure. It's unfortunate, but I mean, money makes the world go round, and that's what it's all about. CS8443, most disliked sports team and sports rival of any era. Oh, that's hard. The Chiefs are fresh because they did get a lot of fortunate calls their way this year, no matter what anybody says. Do they know how to win? Absolutely, they know how to win. Are they a great team? Yeah, they're a great team. But they aren't what everyone puts them up to be. Hate the Lakers. Hate any team LeBron's on. And I don't hate LeBron because some people like you hate the GOAT. I hated Tom Brady because he was the GOAT. My hate for LeBron is I just hate him. Wang Fu in Australia says, if I ever come, he'll buy me some drinks. But at what point did you realize your success had also turned into fame? Have you been recognized as Mr. X outside, not at conventions? So I don't think I'm famous at all, even a little bit. There's a very small niche of the statue community. And I mean, some of my videos get a couple 100,000 views, but those people don't remember me or see who I am. I am recognized probably 3 to 4 times a year, just in weird public settings. And it's really surreal and flattering, honestly. I don't think I'm famous. I don't think I ever will be. Would I like to be? Yeah, I guess. but I'm very happy with my life as it is. If you could keep 5 items from your collection and have a minute to decide, what would you keep? Okay, say there's no rules. Like, obviously, my life-size stuff are harder to keep. But let's say my favorite Silver Surfer, the one, coming out of the black hole, for sure. I would have to say the Jungle Hunter Predator. I would have to say an alien statue to match it. So maybe the Big Chap. Oh, shit, I'm running out of time. I'd have to do a Venom. So let's do Null on Throne. That's not Venom, but no, I take that back. That's wrong. Shit. Angry Monkey Thanos on Throne to go with the Silver Surfer. And a Venom. I don't know which one yet, though. Man, that was the toughest question of the night. Land of Mert. Packer Stadium seats suck. Oh, that's too bad. Somebody asked which stadium I wanted to visit, and Lambeau was at the top of my list. Although this next year, I'm going to visit the Olympiad Stadium in Berlin. That's my away game. Broncos are supposed to play the Colts there. And Mert also commented, he goes, high work ethic and you like to talk. Those are usually good to move in advancement. That's only true in professional settings. Social settings, I don't like to talk. And it's probably because I'm so exhausted from the professional settings and from this. Those are my time to get away. All right, last few. Office Arcade, who I love. How much time do you think you put into maintenance, arranging, shopping for your collection weekly? Okay, eliminate YouTube. If you eliminate YouTube, if I'm home, I would say an hour a day is pretty consistent. An hour a day if I'm home. And that's it. That's all the questions. So again, if there's some that you want to ask, if I get enough, there will be an episode 9. Just throw those in below. For those of you that don't have questions, I appreciate you watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Yes, we're still giving away $1,000 statues at every 5,000 subscriber milestone. You have to make sure you're subbed to the channel, you like the video, and then leave a comment. We're going to pick a random comment on a random video and give away those statues. In the meantime, check out some of these other videos and my social media. Talk to you soon. Take care.